I'm Panhead Fred. Today I'm going to do something I've never done before. I'm going to make grits in my canteen cup. This will be my first submission to a Canteen Cup Tuesday. And I'm probably going to get it all screwed up because I have no idea what I'm doing. So let's get on with it. Okay, let's do a little inventory here. First off, this is a Chinese knockoff of a Trangia stove. It does alright. It was like 10 bucks. The threads right here are rolled on there, so they don't really do very well. You can't store fuel in this thing because it leaks out. When you put the cap on it, because the threads are rolled in there, they're not cut very deep. You put it on like that, no matter how tight you get it, it strips. You see that? So I don't keep alcohol in these things, which is probably not good anyways, because alcohol is hygroscopic and it absorbs moisture out of the air. Now, that's why it's used. The heat is used for a antifreeze for fuel lines, because it absorbs the water to keep the fuel lines from rusting inside, and it's just burnt with combustion during the combustion cycle of the engine. Next, I have this little can stove that I made. I'm going to try it out. I don't know how well it's going to do. It's just a soup can. I bent all the little things right here in with a little church key. And these up top, I bent them and bent them over. So plenty of airflow through there. Now the Trangia stove, or the knockoff, fits in there just right. Next, I have my Rothko Canteen cup, stainless cup with the cap, which I really like this thing. Seems to do alright. It snaps on pretty good, but you don't have to snap it all the way on anyways, because you don't really need it all that tight. But that works good. Now, a canteen of water. This is a mustard container, which I have cleaned out and have my denatured alcohol in it. Of course, I have a Ranger band on it, keeps it shut. It works very well. It holds, well, it holds 8 ounces of fuel. We'll be using this just a second, so we'll take that off. Put that right there. And of course, Quaker 5-minute grits. I love grits. And salt, pepper, got some butter. Here's the little stand that originally came with the stove, which it does alright. Of course, a little bag it came with. So, let's get started. I don't know how much I'm putting in there. I usually run it up pretty high. Try that. Okay, got it all filled up and the stove sitting down in my can, and let's see what happens. My wife and I were in Dollar Tree the other day, and we ran across these cool little cigarette lighters. And they're made by Croc. They're like $1 each. And I made this like a little outer shroud for it, so I wear it around my neck. And let's see how well this works. Oh yeah, she lit. I'll let that heat up. Get a good blossom going. And we'll come back in just a second when it's going good. Suffice it to say, I have not used this thing yet, so I don't know how it's going to do. This may or may not work. We'll find out in a minute. Okay, I believe it's blossomed out and it's doing real good now. I'm not real sure about the spacing from the top of the stove to the bottom of your cook surface. Usually it needs to be about an inch, inch and a half. Now this is considerably lower than that, so this may or may not work. We're going to find out here in a minute. Now, I don't generally measure stuff. I put stuff in to where it looks about right, so I'm going to put some water in here, and I'll figure out how much grits I need later. Warm, ain't it? Let's put about that much in there. Looks good. Now let's wait and see how long it takes to come to a boil. Okay, it's been on about a minute and a half. You can see some of the flames jumping out the back side right there. I got a few little bubbles forming in the bottom already, which is actually pretty good. This thing's doing better than I thought it would. The reason why I use this can instead of the regular stand is because a canteen cup won't fit on that stand. So I had to make one. I'll come back here in a minute and when it's a whole lot warmer. I'm going to put the lid on so we can get a little quicker boil here. But I'm not going to seal it on, I'm just going to sit it on there. Just like that. That should be enough to do what it's got to do. We'll come back in a minute and see how it does. I'm going to reposition the canteen cup here on this little stove, because it's all the heat's escaping out the back side over here. So I'm going to move it around. See if I can save some of that heat. There, see what happens now. See some of the crap's burning off the inside of the can there. You can see the smoke. Certainly smells bad. And the water's starting to get pretty warm now. You hear it growling. Got some steam coming off. It shouldn't be too long. It's been about 4 or 5 minutes now. I'm going to go ahead and put this top back on. Give it a couple more minutes and see what we got. And another minute's went by. Let's have a look. It's fixing to get to a boil. Won't be long now. Well, that was fun. Okay. Now let's dig that out of there. Yep, there it goes, rolling boil. That's probably about 6-8 minutes. And let's put some damn grits in there and see what happens. I'm going to go ahead and cut the fire off on this thing. There. And it's still burning. Right through the hole. It's interesting. Okay. We'll put it over there and let it burn. The water's still getting hot. I'm stirring some grits now and see what happens. Like I said before, I don't measure stuff, I just put it in and it looks about right. Oh, that's hot. Let's start with that. Always add a little more later on. Cup's still really hot. And it's kind of soupy, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more. See what that does. Oh yeah, she's thickening up now. Yeah, I can see it now. This is probably more than I can eat. But we'll see what happens. Now it's time to add a little salt and pepper. I like mine pretty salty. The best grits are salt and pepper, and that's it. Maybe some butter. And a little salt in there. Yeah, there you go. A little pepper. Look at that pepper. There you go. That's some pepper right there. Stir that in real good. See how it's thickening up? Oh yeah, it's getting kind of hard to push a spoon through it now. I think I'll add some butter now. Yeah, it's sitting up pretty good. Big old chunk of butter. Stick that down in there. I don't believe I'm going to need any more of the grits, so I'm going to put them over here. Stir it up a little more. Now, I don't like my grits real soupy. I like them a little bit on the stiff side. So sometimes, if they're too stiff, I add a little bit more butter. It fixes it right up. You get too much butter, you tend to get this greasy floating stuff on top of it, and I don't really care for that. Even though it does taste good and buttery. Let's get that. Let that set a couple minutes. Put the old top back on it. See what it happens. Check it out here in a few minutes. Okay, let's see what this thing's going to do now. Pop my little top off, put it over here. Oh, that's a whole lot of grits. It's probably way more than I'm going to be able to eat. Now, give the old college try. I see it thickened up pretty good. That might be a little bit thicker than I like, but that looks pretty good. Pretty hard to push that spoon through it. Yeah, that ought to be good. Let's see how it tastes. See if I throw up. It's pretty good. Use a little bit more butter. Way more than enough salt. But now I like salt anyways. All in all, I gotta say I'm pretty happy with my Rothko cup. And the lid. It's hard to find a lid to fit most cans. I had an aluminum one that I got in my Canteen kit, and I didn't have top for it, a lid, so I went ahead and got this one because I wanted to have a lid, and it fits perfect. And that's right inside the cover real well, right there in the very bottom. Can't even tell it's there. I'm going to call this a success. I might add a little bit more butter to it. Some of this might end up being grits, pancakes, fried grits. That might be another video. We'll have to wait and see. For now, it's Panhead Fred signing off. See y'all later.